So welcome to the show. I'm Sarah J. Cross and I'm here to support you on your journey to becoming a successful product business owner with tips, strategies and stories to guide you through the good times and the challenges of running a product-based business. Today we're talking to Sylvia Chierchia, a money coach for female entrepreneurs who helps women in business get their finances sorted so they can create a profitable business, make a massive impact in the world, doing what they love, and have something to show for their hard work. Sylvia's here today to chat to us about releasing your money blocks, which is something I personally believe to be one of the most important priorities for anyone looking to create and grow a successful business. Welcome, Sylvia.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
I'm really excited to talk with you today because in my work as a business coach for product-based business owners, I'm always telling my clients, that mindset needs to be a high priority because mindset and money go hand in hand when it comes to building your business and achieving success in it.
Yeah. I think it's the most crucial thing, but I think it's probably, it's starting to be talked about a lot more, in the mainstream. But I think that for so long, it was just all about just do it, just go for it. And it was all this do. And we weren't really putting much emphasis on how we were feeling, what we were thinking, and how that was really affecting, what our outcomes were. So I think mindset is key.
I sort of put it down to, 90% of people's business success. I've been in business for, 20 years and, there comes a point where you have to be able to have a good, solid mindset to navigate you through those times where you're on that roller coaster and, there's some low challenging moments, which will kind of come and smack you in the face, just when you think things are going along really well. And it's about actually being able to work through those and persevere and be resilient, and it gets you through those really difficult times so you can, continue growing a successful business. Yeah. So for many listeners here who may not have met you yet, Sylvia, can you tell us a bit more about your business, your experience with finance, and how you help female entrepreneurs?
Okay, so I've been in finance one way or another for about the last 30 years. So about 7 years ago, I was made redundant from a job that I was positive was so safe and secure. And it really threw me for a loop. And it was one of those moments in life where I just went, you know what, that's never going to happen to me again. It's time for me to take matters into my own hands. So I started my own business. And at that stage, I started a bookkeeping practice, which I built up and later sold, and then moved into more financial coaching, virtual CFO work, which is what I do with women in business now, and men, but predominantly women. And what really came to light for me was when I was doing the bookkeeping particularly, I would be working with, women in business, and I would be doing their bookkeeping and financing, and I would be thinking, well, there you go. Here, we've got it all sorted here, on the computer or on paper, and then things would still not work out very well, or their mindset would get a little bit wobbly. So that's when I kind of went, oh, there needs to be another piece to this puzzle. And that's when the whole mindset piece came in. And that's when I really discovered, well, that's the main thing. I found that financial management was the symptom, or lack of financial management was a symptom, but what was the cause of it was really what was going on between their ears, what they were saying to themselves, what they'd come to believe about themselves when it comes to money. And so that's when I just joined these two, and that's what I do. That's what I help women with.
That's amazing. I love that journey that, you've basically been able to successfully build your own business as a result of being redundant, of you then being able to sort of say, well, that's not going to happen to me again. I'm going to control my destiny, in my future in terms of what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you in terms of you can give people all the foundations and tools to go ahead and sort of do something with managing finances. But if there's money blocks going on, or if there's a mindset that isn't aligned, then I don't believe that it can never actually really sort of effectively work. You know, it can never actually really sort of help people go to that next level.
Yeah.
So for product-based entrepreneurs who tend to have a pattern when it comes to money and business, we can see money as the key to having our product available to sell. For example, we plan for spending money on the materials to make the product, but taking that leap to invest money into promoting our business, building a team of people to work with us, outsourcing the things that aren't our, you know, our specialty, our zone of genius, or that we no longer have time to do. That's where I see a lot of product entrepreneurs struggle, because they think that if they spend it on that, they won't have any money left, you know, for purchasing products. So, which is really ironic, because those are the things that really help them to scale their business to the next level when they are at a point of being able to build a team and do their marketing and, you know, start outsourcing. So why do you think we feel so emotionally invested in the money side of our business?
Well, it's not just product-based businesses, it's all businesses. It's every, you know, so many people out there, particularly women, just have this block when it comes to, you know, spending money on their business, because it's, you're kind of having to back yourself in a big way. You're having to, like, you know, put in, when you're buying a product or when you're buying stock or when you're buying all of this, and it's very external. So you're buying these sort of things and you're putting together a product. And then it comes to marketing that, when it comes to, you know, putting together a brand, or even being the face of a brand, or investing in a team, that's terrifying for people. Firstly, because it's probably something they've never done before. And secondly, what if it doesn't work? What if they lose the money? There's so much fear and so much lack, and a lot of people have people surrounding them going, "Don't go too hard. Don't invest too much. You know, you might, you know, so and so's gone." Especially with like a lot of these big retailers now shutting down. That's like even more terrifying for so many people. But you can't get to where you want to go from where you are. You really need to invest in yourself. You really need to back yourself, and you really need to think in an abundant way if you 100% believe in your product. So this is a big thing. And I've had a product-based business before, and I liked my product. I didn't love my product. And I think that was a really big problem for me, because when it came to really promoting it, really selling it and putting more money into it, I stopped myself because I didn't 100% love it. And so that really did stop me. So I think people have to really ask themselves, are you 100% behind your product? Do you 100% believe in it? Then you 100% need to back yourself and really go for it, because what's the alternative?
Yeah, I totally believe, like, that having a really strong money mindset is about backing yourself and surrounding yourself with people that are going to support you, you know, and build you up and celebrate your wins, and you can share your successes and your lows. You know, you basically need to have a community of people that are around you that are going to support you, and that can be building a team, and it can be building other, you know, connecting with other like-minded business women as well, you know, who are all kind of in the same space. They're all like-minded, they all get it. A lot of, you know, majority of my clients are all raising children, building businesses. So, you know, it's a lot to take on. And then there is obviously those, you know, moments of questioning, that fear of failure, or fear of taking risks in the business.
Absolutely.
To level themselves to the, you know, to go and scale their business and make it really profitable.
I've heard a great inspirational speaker that I love say, you can only see what you will lose, you can't see what you will gain. So a lot of people are just terrified of what they'll lose. Will they lose money? Will they lose their products? Will they lose customers? Well, whatever it is, but they can't see that if they hired the right person, if they promoted themselves more, if they invested more in, you know, in their business, what would they gain? And oftentimes people are very much stuck in that, you know, I'm too scared to risk it, so I just won't. And then you just get anywhere.
And it comes down to that procrastination, that they just feel like they can't possibly get something started unless it's perfect. But I think that's usually just an excuse as a way of self-protection, of actually putting yourself out there and taking that risk.
Absolutely.
Of actually saying, well, if I make mistakes or if I fail, then I fail, like you said, what's the worst case scenario, and an entrepreneur's life isn't designed for everybody. I think it is for a certain amount of people who survive and really thrive. You've got to have that really sort of abundance mindset that you mentioned. You've got to be able to take those risks, don't you, to be able to really sort of back yourself.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So on the flip side, I also see people struggling with, managing the money that they make. Plenty might come in, they might have really great sales, but then it goes straight back out again, and they find themselves in a cycle of making it, losing it, making it, losing it. Do you think that this can happen because of their relationship with money, their money mindset?
Absolutely. That's basically all it is. So it's really, really important to listen to your thoughts, okay, and be the observer of your thoughts throughout the day, because we have like thousands and thousands of thoughts throughout the day, and not many of them are great. So really just be an observer of your thoughts and hear what you're saying to yourself. Most people are saying, I'm not good with money. Money burns a hole in my pocket. Whatever comes in goes out. I'm not very good with numbers. I was really bad at maths at school. There's all this ridiculous talk going on in people's minds that is simply not true. Being good at maths at school or being good with numbers has nothing to do with money management. And I think that I want everyone to really hear that. It has nothing to do with that. So your money management really comes down to how you were raised, what you were taught, and what you've come to believe and accept about money. So if you really want to change that, you've got to change that. You've got to consciously go and change what's going on in your subconscious, right? So really figure out what it is that you're believing, that you're saying to yourself, that you've heard, and then change that. And that will change your results 100% of the time. Okay, so it's crucial that people really understand that what they were taught growing up or what they absorbed growing up, because sometimes you can have siblings that have very different ways of handling money because they interpret things in a different way. So really figure out what it is that you've come to believe, and what is it that's causing you to sabotage the money that's coming in, what's causing you to spend it all, what's causing you to feel that you can't hold on to it. And these are things that really need to be looked into for there to be the change that you want in the future.
Yeah. So there's obviously deep ingrained, thought patterns that need to be rewired or reprogrammed by what you're saying.
For sure.
In order for you to be able to improve your relationship with money.
Yeah.
And
I hear from women all the time, every day, I'm just no good with money. That's it. It's a statement. It's fact. Yeah. And it's like, what are you talking about? People weren't born being good with money. It's not a thing. It's something that you learn, like anything else. If you can learn how to operate a computer, you learn how to operate a business, you learn how to put together products, services, whatever. You can learn how to manage money. It's not beyond you. It's just what you're telling yourself and what you're subconsciously believing. That needs to change.
So what are the most prominent money blocks you've come across as a money coach?
So many. Okay, so really the things that hold people back is that they believe two very important things. They believe that money is not, or wealth is not available to them. It's just not for them. They've heard from their family perhaps that, we're not like those people, or rich people are this way or that way. You know what I mean? So it's not available to me. I don't know how to make that kind of money. I'm not that financially savvy. It's not available to me. I'm a bit different. I'm not like those entrepreneurs online that are making millions. That's a really big block. It's not available to me. The other one is that I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not short enough. Whatever you want to say, all roads lead back to I'm not enough. So when people are trying to put products or services out there, when they're putting their face out there, it's very triggering because they just don't feel that they are good enough. And these are two massive blocks. Now, these can show up in all sorts of different ways, but essentially that's the two main blocks that most people have. It's not available to me and I'm not enough. And kind of those,
that's really interesting. I'm not enough, so that's obviously coming and it's not available, so they sound like they're fairly deep inset beliefs, would you say?
Absolutely.
That have been kind of, you know, that they've kind of carried with them for quite a long time. So is it just can it be, you know, can you, for the listeners that are sort of thinking, oh, that sounds like me, can you transform, you know, can you sort of get out of that frame of mind, you know, and retrain your brain to think in a different way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I think that I mean, I think that it's different in different parts of the world, but in Australia there is a real that you know, you're an Aussie battler, you know, you're doing it tough, you're making a little bit of money, you're getting by. There's like glory in that. You know, there isn't a lot, and people really look down on the wealthy, they look down on the rich, and they, you know, they're greedy, they're corrupt and whatever. So the first thing that you really need to do is to get out of that mindset. I know so many generous, wealthy people. The more money you have, the more people you can help, the more good you can do in the world. So it's really, really important to rewire that. And the I'm not enough is it's an epidemic for men and women, but particularly women. You know, we just feel we're comparing ourselves to people all the time. We're comparing ourselves, our products, our services, our homes, our families. You know, everything is being compared to other people, and we just don't feel good enough. Absolutely, you can reprogram that, and there's a number of ways that you can do that. So the first thing really is awareness. So you really need to know what it is that's going on for you, and where you know, you don't want to get too stuck into where, you know, where did it come from? How did I get it? Who do I blame? This is none of that. It's just basically an awareness of what your thoughts are. And and you can go, oh, some people will go, oh yeah, my dad used to do that, my mum used to do that. That's fine. So I think that's about all that you really need to know. So the awareness of what you're thinking and how you're feeling and what you're experiencing is key. Now, I believe there are three really strong ways to change and rewire your mind. The first one is like a near-death experience or a catastrophe or something like that. So if someone has like a complete, like, you know when if they have a heart attack and suddenly they see the light,
trauma,
whatever. Someone goes bankrupt and they think that's like the worst trauma, but suddenly they see something. Well, you know, it just changes their whole perspective. If I've lost everything and I'm still here, then I can do anything. You know what I mean? So that kind of tragedy, near-death experience or whatever really jolts the subconscious mind, and changes can occur. The other one is repetition. So journaling repeatedly, saying positive affirmations to yourself, you know, all of that kind of thing, and really just getting ahead of your thoughts that are on autopilot and really repeating things that you want in your mind, and over time that will start to have an impact. And the third one is hypnosis. So the other two, I mean, I don't want a near-death experience, and I find repetition slow. So for me, hypnosis is the key way to change. So I'm an RTT therapist, a rapid transformational therapist, and it's like a hybrid of hypnosis, and we go in and we get to the root cause of what is it that's actually holding people back. What is it that's causing, what was the root cause of that, and that's causing this in your life today, and really reprogramming the mind so that then you can actually get what you want. You can actually achieve what you say you consciously want. Because if you consciously want something and your subconscious is completely different on a different page, the subconscious will always win. So it's really important to make sure that you're reprogramming that in an effective way, and they are the three ways to do that.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I mean, I think that the reprogramming and people don't realize the power of the subconscious mind. I've heard of people being able to go back to a state where a memory of when they were children or when they were babies or when they were in a high chair. You don't realize the power of how much our brain is controlled by our subconscious, and those beliefs that are set in place from childhood that are carried on into adulthood, and that you still have the thoughts of a child almost, of what was sort of you might have believed or been ingrained at that early age, and then the thought pattern is still the same as an adult. And I think that's just incredibly powerful that you can, and I think a lot of people aren't aware that they have those, like you said, your mind is telling you're trying to control your thought pattern, but your subconscious is telling you something completely different. I don't think people are actually aware that you have to have the two congruent, they actually have to both be aligned in order for you to be able to master that, move past those blocks.
Absolutely. Your subconscious mind is just basically there to keep you alive, to keep you safe, it doesn't know good or bad. It's like with people who give up smoking, who want to give up smoking. So they'll consciously say, I want to give up smoking. Your subconscious mind doesn't know that smoking is a bad thing. It just knows that that's what you do, and it wants to just keep you doing that. So you're in a battle with yourself every single day. And same with money. People are in an internal battle with themselves and they don't even realize it. So it's key. If you want to change your external environment, you must change your internal environment. And without doing that, you are fighting. I feel like you're fighting a losing battle, because it won't stick. You're relying on willpower, and as you know, you might know that willpower it's like a muscle. It gets exhausted, and eventually you'll just go back to your old ways. So that's what happens with money.
So you've got to sort of dig in and get to the root of the problem, really, don't you? Like absolutely. The deep ingrained, subconscious thoughts and patterns that you've been holding on to for a long time. And in order to correct those, you need to do that first in order for them to both be working together, for you to actually be able to really master those thoughts and beliefs. So that it totally makes sense. So do you think that money blocks occur less as business grows, or more when you get to a certain level of success? Do we find then that everything's perfect and we don't need to worry about the money blocks anymore? Or is it more like when we say we want to lose weight and we think if we lose 5 kilos, life is just going to be perfect, but actually the weight itself was never really the issue?
Yeah, they say new level, new devil. So you will get to a new level. So you might get to, say you get to 100,000 turnover, and you've done that and you feel successful, there's money coming in, it's going well. And then you say, okay, well, I want to take this to 200. Your mind doesn't actually understand that that's even possible. And so it's a whole new feeling, a whole new block of, you've got to get to another level that doesn't feel familiar. It's completely unfamiliar to you to earn that kind of money, or 300,000, 400,000. And so the blocks will always be there. It's whatever level you're getting to, it's another barrier for you to get through. So if people think they do money mindset work and voila, it's all done, it's not actually how it works, because you will butt up against something else, and you can just work through that as well. Nothing is insurmountable, but you just need to work through each level as you get there. Do your inner work, do your journaling, do your affirmations. You can have, more sort of hypnosis or self-hypnosis as you go, and you'll be able to get through each hurdle. But to believe that once you get to a certain number, that the rainbow will appear and life will forevermore be fantastic is unrealistic. Every level has its challenges.
It does, and I like that saying that new level, new devil. I mean, it definitely doesn't mean that people who are highly successful don't have issues with money, or
For sure.
you know, even like their mindset, you know, feeling like an imposter or that they're not really good enough. I don't think it ever really changes, does it, unless your money mindset has been you know, changed or reviewed, or you've worked on things to get that alignment happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the problem's still there. The core problem's still there, no matter about what stage you're at.
Yeah, totally.
So Sylvia, if we're experiencing a money block, where do we start in order to release it? What do we do?
Well, if you can identify what the block is and just really become aware of it, then you can work through that. So, you know, as I mentioned, you can do your journaling, you can do your reading, you can do, do self-hypnosis or any sort of hypnosis to really change that. You know, repetition, your affirmations, but you really need to know what the block is. Now, a lot of the time, and this is what I love about hypnosis, is that you're actually not aware of what the actual block is. So you might think you know, and you might work on that, but there's some deep-rooted block that you might not even be aware of because it happened when you were so young. So the first 7 years of your life, you're all subconscious mind. Your conscious mind doesn't develop until after that. So you're just like a filter. Everything's going in there and you don't know what's in there. And so that's where that can be uncovered. But you know, but you can certainly, if you're aware of something that's triggering you or a block, then you could just work through that. You know, there's lots of tools, techniques, journal prompts. You know, you can read things, you can do meditation. There's lots of different things that visualization, lots of different things that you can do to kind of move through that.
Yeah. That's fabulous. That's really good. As business owners, we're already, you know, so busy. How do you suggest we find the time to work on releasing them as much with so much going on? You know, is it about setting aside time for yourself each day as a daily ritual, you know, that you actually allow yourself and time for your sort of mental health, like your emotional health, to have, you know, like you would exercise, you would block out a time for a class or to go out for, you know, a run or anything. Do you recommend that?
Absolutely. You can't not do that because you will burn out. And that's not fun. You know, I know I certainly don't want to be working 24 hours a day. I want to make sure that I have time for my writing, for my reading, you know, if I want to go and exercise, some time with my family, some time to just sit on and watch TV for an hour, whatever. You just factor all of that in and then work in your you know, work hours. And if you're at that point where you don't have time, then I think that's the time where you must make time. Because
because everyone has the same amount of time, whether you're Oprah or Beyonce, or, you know, whether you don't get a lot of, you know, you might not get a lot of paid help or you might not outsource a lot. Everyone still has the same amount of time in a day. It's just really blocking it out in your calendar or making the time for yourself, valuing that it's an investment in you.
Yeah. And I know that if I don't do that, if I don't take that time to sit or meditate or read something, then my work suffers more for it, or I'm less productive when I don't do those things.
And I think, like you said, it becomes less enjoyable when you're just a mouse on a wheel and you're kind of just keeping your head above water and you're thinking, oh, when am I going to, I need a break, you know, or I'm feeling burnt out, or everybody wants something from me. I think that's the time you have to really, probably it's too late then, but, you know, it's actually recognizing that you do need to have some time for reflection and also conditioning your thought pattern as well, getting your mindset right and protected to be able to sort of get to that next level of where you want to go.
Absolutely. And one thing I ask all my clients straight off the bat when we start working together is, what do you want? And I'm always amazed at how people get stuck with that question.
Really?
They know what they don't want. But when you ask people to actually articulate what they want their life to look like, what they want their business to look like, what they want their day to look like, they get really stuck. And they're like, I just want to be happy, or I just want, you know, just to you know, have a nice life or something. These are really vague answers. Or I want to make really good money. There's not a lot of specificity with what people want. So it's, if you're finding yourself in this thing where you're crazy busy and you're running around and you know, you're stressed out, just take that moment to think, what do I want? What am I doing? What do I want my business to look like? What do I want my life to look like? And where do I want to be in a year's time or 5 years' time? And you know, just really think about that and then structure your day accordingly.
Do you think that it's sometimes that they don't feel that they're worthy of actually having something of what they would really dream about, of what they really feel like they could achieve? I mean, does it come from a fear base, or is it those very deep ingrained thought patterns that you're not good enough, or you're not going to ever get that, or money doesn't come easily for you? Or
you have to do that. Why wouldn't you? I think that, you know, if we watched our kids doing that to themselves, we'd be saying, hey, you know, what are you doing? Or if we saw our spouse doing that to themselves, you'd pull them up on it. So why do we allow ourselves to operate that way? You know, it's not right at all. And as you were saying, deserving, I think that's a really big one with women. And I'm obviously it comes down to family beliefs and how you were raised, but there's such a level of like, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve to have that kind of money, I don't deserve to have that kind of business. And again, all roads lead back to I'm not enough. It's just something that we really need to work on. And I think that we need to work on this together. I think that when you're in business, particularly when you're in an online space or you're working from home, it can feel very isolating. And you know, you left alone with your thoughts is not a great thing. So, you know, we need to kind of come together and raise each other up. And I have 3 daughters, and it's very important for me, you know, about teaching them about female empowerment and teaching my clients and about coming together and really supporting each other, because until we do that, that I'm not enough loop will just keep going and going and going. Yeah.
And I'm starting to see now there's more recognition with that, particularly with the Me Too movement, women that have experienced sexual harassment and feeling like they're not able to get opportunities that men would because they need to exchange some sort of service, you know, in order to do it. It's not based on their strengths or their abilities. It's, you know, as an object. And I think now, the importance of raising women to have that whole understanding that we are good enough. We are equal and we are good enough. I've seen, I think statistics-wise, in my book, The Fearless Fempreneur, it's something like women are now in the fastest growing category for starting up small businesses. It's something like 60% of small businesses are female-led. So there is a real growing uprise for women to, you know, that feminine uprising for women to have their own businesses and to be female-led. I've had 2 clients who have retired their husbands from their corporate jobs to join their business, which I love. It's like girl power.
That's fantastic. But unfortunately, I have to say the statistics are not in the favour of small businesses, you know, because I think it's like only 13% or something are profitable. It's a very small percentage of people that are actually making enough money. They're either breaking even or they're losing money. So it's really important for me, and I'm sure it is for you, to really show women that they can have the business that they want and they can make the money that they want. It just requires a different way of thinking, a different way of being, and understanding your worth and really, you know, going for it and doing what you need to do internally and externally to make that happen.
What would be one piece of advice for other entrepreneurs wanting to grow their business with good cash flow, having less worries? Would it be what you said earlier, like, is it the awareness, and is it actually, you know, allowing yourself that time to work on yourself?
Yeah, look, I think you can do both. So what I often see is that there's a lot of mindset coaches, you know, in the online space, which is great. But a lot of the time, that's where it seems to stop. It's like you do the mindset work and suddenly the universe will open the tap and all the money will start flowing through. And that sounds lovely, but it's often not the case. So it's fine to do the mindset work and to really change your awareness and your consciousness around money, for sure. But then you actually kind of need to do something with that. So, you know, take that and apply it to your business, apply it to your cash flow, really track what is going. I think cash flow is the biggest issue. Most businesses run out of cash and they run out of options. So you really need to be tracking your cash flow more than anything. So it doesn't, budgets and all that are a little bit useless. You really need to be seeing what cash is going out and coming in and when that's happening, so that you can really monitor quieter periods, you know, periods where there's more coming in, so that you can space out that cash flow. Like there's things that you can do. Doing the money side of things without the mindset side, it doesn't work. And then doing the mindset stuff without coupling that with structure, financials, foundations doesn't work. So for me, these two need to come together. You need to do the internal work, you need to do the external work, and then your business can really thrive because you're operating on a different mindset, and then you're doing what you actually need to do.
That's fabulous. Oh, that's just, you've just shared so many things. I'm sure so many listeners are having epiphanies right now going, okay, I've been doing one thing and wondering why I actually, you know, I'm going around in circles, and you know, there has to be that, like you said, that co-alignment that between both the external and the internal has to be done. And you have to have that awareness. And then there is lots and lots of avenues that you can get support and help to be able to get yourself sorted. And then being on the right track and going forward, I imagine, like, you know, your money mindset's going to be so strong and so powerful. And like you said, you've got 3 girls, you know, you're setting that example for them to know that they can control their future and what direction they're going to go in, which as a parent, that's so important, that you can set your kids up for life. You know, you can set them up so that they actually do know there's lots of choices and opportunities, but you need to be able to have both being congruent with each other, how you perceive money and then how you manage your cash flow. Cash flow is king. That's what I always say. It's the most important factor. You can have a business that's turning over lots of sales, but if you're over purchasing, if you're not priced appropriately, if your marketing isn't there, if you don't know your target audience, there's so many factors that can actually impact that. Your business is actually only just hanging in there, you know, like it's actually, you're not getting ahead, it's not profitable, it's just either breaking even, or a lot of people run at a loss, you know, and they never quite make a business that supports an income for their family. The women that I have coached who have built these businesses over 7 figures and had husbands that have been retired and come and join them in the business, initially that probably wasn't their driving force. They love their business and they love their product. They're passionate about their product. It's been a fabulous kind of byproduct of where they've taken the business, but they've also been very mindful about their profitability. And in order for them to support a second wage and to support a lifestyle where they can both raise their family and build a business together, it has to be profitable.
Yeah. I've gone in and worked with 7-figure businesses that had no cash flow projections, no forecasting, no nothing. You know, so it's not just the small businesses that aren't doing it. A lot of the bigger businesses aren't doing it either. And people are just running on, I don't know, it's like a hope, wish and a prayer that things are going to be okay. And really just, if you have things in black and white in front of you and you can work on that, and then on the side you're working on your mindset and working on what, you know, what's going on with you internally with finances and really strengthening that, I think that we would see such a massive turnaround in profitability for small businesses. That's just not, you know, it's not where it needs to be right now. And you know, that's like a mission for me, is to help women not only just start businesses, but make money from them.
Make a thriving business.
Well, yeah, because, you know, because then the knock-on effect of not doing that is that you're under pressure, you're stressed out, you're fighting with your spouse, you know, you're earning less than what you did in your job. Some people are paying their VAs more than they pay themselves. Like, it's just, I just would love to see this turn around. And I think that it's simpler. I think that there are some simple steps you can take to turn it around. It's not like a massive upheaval, but you just need to add these things and do them consistently, and then things can change.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that. Thank you so much, Sylvia, for sharing with us today.
You're welcome.
Money, it's such a personal thing to discuss, and you've made it sound easy, and that, you know, it can be enjoyable as well.
I don't think it's that hard. If we could just give people a shake and say, managing money and doing your financials is not really hard, scary, or a difficult thing. It's easy. How about that mentality? And then we can see what happens. It's
getting daily habits formed, and it's actually doing things like you said, learning computer. Like, not everyone starts out knowing how to operate different programs or learning things, but you know, you practice and you're getting ingrained and you do it over and over, and then you become confident and competent at it.
That's right.
And it's the same as managing your money on a regular basis. So this has been fabulous. I'm really, really pumped because I love talking all about mindset and money and cash flow. So this is right up my alley. So where can people find you on the web if they'd like to know more, Sylvia?
My website is sylviachierchia.com, and I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well. And they can contact me via email or through my Facebook page.
Yeah, wonderful. So that's where you can find Sylvia. And if you've missed anything in today's interview, or you'd like to go back and revisit Sylvia's advice in more detail, you can click on the link to download the show notes and get a copy of everything we've talked about today. So it's time for me to say goodbye, and I will see you in the next episode.